If you ask UAE, Saudi, Jordan, Egypt, Bahrain, what kind of Middle East they want to see 10 years from now, what we would like to see is more secular, stable, prosperous, empowered, strong governments.
What's the workable future for Syria? What are your thoughts about how a political solution, what would it look like in Syria, and how could we get there?
What we look for in the new Syria is a secular, democratic Syria, secular being the main operative word. And let me be clear about what we're fighting for. The UAE is the promise of a new Middle East. The UAE is the promise of a new Middle East.
I wonder who gave you the authority to speak on behalf of the Saudi government that Saudi leaders are looking forward to have or to be secular countries within the 10 next years. Who told you that? Did the king say that to you? Did he recommend you to speak on his behalf? Who are you? You are an ambassador for a small, minor country called the Emirates, UAE. So your limits are there. You shouldn't be speaking on behalf of the Saudi government. Moreover, now we know that the credible scholars to the Saudi government, such as Muhammad Aman al-Jami, he made it so clear, obvious, that secular system is a matter of apostasy.
العلمانيين ملاحدة، ما هم منافقون، ملاحدة، لأنهم لا يرون إدخال الدين في أمور الناس، إنما يرون الدين فقط للعبادة في المساجد فقط. وأما أمور السياسة وأمور المعاملات وأمور هذه يقولون هذه للناس يتصرفون فيها بدون شرع وبدون شيء، هم يتصرفون حسب مصالحهم ورغباتهم. هذا كفر بالله عز وجل وعزل لكتاب الله عز وجل ولسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن الحياة. هذا كفر وإلحاد. نعم، فهم شر من المنافقين. المنافقون يتظاهرون بالإسلام ويصلون ويصومون ويوكلون على ظواهرهم، أما خفاياهم فهي إلى الله. أما هؤلاء صرحوا بالكفر، عزلوا شرع الله عن تطبيق على أحوال الناس ومعاملاتهم. هذا كفر صريح مصرح به، ما هو بنفاق. نفاق أن يظهر شيئا ويخفي ضده. هؤلاء ما أخفوا شيئا، صرحوا. نعم، فهم شر من المنافقين.
العلمانيون أعلنوا عن علمانيتهم وأن الشريعة الإسلامية غير صالحة في الوقت الحاضر، وكل علماني فهو كافر مرتد أينما وقع في الشرق أو في الغرب. العلمانية أشد كفرا من اليهودية والنصرانية، لأن الإسلام قدر لأهل الكتاب كتابهم الأول التوراة والإنجيل، وأباح للمسلمين أكل ذبائحهم وطعام الذين أوتوا الكتاب حل لكم بالإجماع. المراد بالطعام هنا الذبائح. وأحل لنا المحصنات من نسائهم، بينما ذبيحة العلماني لا تحل. المرأة العلمانية لا تحل لمسلم لأنهم مرتدون. المرتدون والمجوس والوثنيون لا فرق بينهم وبين الهندوك والبوذيين من الذين يؤمنون بالأديان الأرضية وليست لهم أديان سماوية. هؤلاء كلهم كفار، يعاملون معاملة أشد من معاملة اليهود والنصارى في الإسلام. فلنعلم أن العلمانيين مرتدون كفار، ولنعلم معنى العلمانية. العلمانية الكفر بجميع الأديان.
العلماني يرفع صوته، والليبرالي النجس المتحلل المتميع الذي لا يلتزم حتى بديانة، أي ديانة فضلا عن الإسلام، يريد أن يرفع صوته فوق الإسلام.
That means no Islam. So when you say that Saudi Arabia is looking forward to become a secular country, it is to those scholars as if you're saying that Saudi Arabia is going to be giving up Islam. That's what it means. So you're causing a big trouble. Knowing that scholars' attitude against secularism is very tough and very strong, and they have the right to do so. Because the Western system today is showing us a lot of contradictions and double standard. And deception, a great deal of deception. Claiming that they're against the dictator, so-and-so dictator, but they're dealing with him. They're supporting him. For example, the United Nations, they condemn what happens in Syria, but at the same time, they know that Russia and China are going to say veto. The whole world is based on injustice. It is easy for the big to oppress the small. And the scenario of giving veto is divided between those 5 greatest countries: Britain, France, Russia, China, America. Minor countries have no right to give such veto. They have no one to support. Now, to this gentleman, I say to him, Allah the Almighty says, if you're Muslim, if you have some remaining of Islam, I remind you of this ayah of the Quran where Allah the Almighty said, do not hearken to those disbelievers, to those wrongdoers, to those mushrikeen, to those pagan people. Do not hearken to them, so then lest the fire will be touching you. Then you'll be having no allies apart from Allah. Then you will not be granted victory. You'll not be supported. Why? Another ayah says, if Allah grant you victory, there is no one to defeat you. But if Allah forsought you, then where you can get the victory from? إِن يَنصُرْكُمُ اللَّهُ فَلَا غَالِبَ لَكُمْ وَإِن يَخْذُلْكُمْ فَمَنْ ذَا الَّذِي يَنصُرُكُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِهِ. Who's going to be supporting you after Allah? When Allah forsakes you, who can grant you victory and support? In another ayah, if, O you who have believed, if you obey the disbelievers, they will be reverse you, return you on your back. Then you'll be losers. Yes, there are people who rush to them, as Allah said, فَتَرَى الَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٍ. You will then see those who have disease in their hearts. That means hypocrisy, etc. Loyalty to the disbelievers. يُسَارِعُونَ فِيهِمْ. They rush headlong to them. يَقُولُونَ نَخْشَى أَن تُصِيبَنَا دَائِرَةً. They say, we have fear that we may be defeated by them, so let's run to them. You know, when you run to the devil, there is no one on earth upon whom, when you fear, you run to him except Allah. Everyone that you fear, you do not run to him. You run away from him except Allah. If you fear Allah, when you fear Allah, you run to Allah. So how did you bypass all of those limits? Speaking on behalf of Saudi Arabia, that you're looking, the Saudi Arabia is looking forward to become a secular country. No, that will not happen. And you're not allowed to speak on their behalf. It is a country which is engaged strongly to those two haram, the Masjid of Mecca, the Masjid of Medina. They won't be able, no one will be able to do so. The Saudi government was established on the promise of supporting the book and the sunnah and this da'wah. It was granted victory because of this. If Saudi Arabia will give up this, that means Saudi Arabia is giving up victory and things will change. And what is worst is that your friend, Ali ibn Tamim, the media minister, I think, he was making it clear on Twitter that, look, you Muslims, you have no choice but two things to choose. Either you accept secularism or you are Daesh. Now, I wonder, where's democracy? Where is that democracy? We know that this democracy cannot be implemented in the Middle East. Firstly, because the Westerners do not want it to be so. Otherwise, no one can tamper with the oil, gas resources, etc., etc. But when leaders are dictators and no one can speak out, now the West can get the blessings, the resources from the Middle East, and no one can speak out. No one. Everybody's going to shut them up. Otherwise, they'll be meeting the same fate of what's happening in Syria. And by the way, Syria, look at the hypocrisy. Look at the hypocrisy. When you hear the speech against Bashar al-Assad, you will be convinced that there's a great deal of enmity between the West and Bashar al-Assad. That's not true. How can Bashar al-Assad be condemned practically by the West, and the West is supporting Israel within the Middle East? So the West knows very well, and as well as us, they made us having that belief that Bashar al-Assad should not be removed because he is the secret. He is the cornerstone to Israel. How can we remove him? No way. At least, if you don't want to remove him, just remove his ambassadors and give the embassies to his opposition group. You know that he expelled his people, 13 millions. They have been driven out of their homes. And now Iran is moving Shia from Afghanistan, Pakistan, to set them and root them in Syria. It's a very filthy game America and Russia are playing under the sighting of the whole world, including Europe. They do not see their crimes. If they saw it, they may call it mistake. Just like what Tony Blair said when he was exposed that he is behind the conspiracy and the great crimes in Iraq. He said, that was a mistake. You see, they see the small mistakes of people, genocide, crime, terrorism, but their own crimes, mistakes. And by the way, now it became very obvious, clear, that the West is authorizing the Emirates to oppose all of those revolutionaries against the tyrant Arab leaders. The West is behind all of that now. And the Emirates is the greatest supporter of Bashar al-Assad. And they gave asylum to his mother, to his family, to live there in peace, while 13 or 15 million Syrians are living in great misery, thanks to the democracy in the West. So we know that. This is hypocrisy. That's why, not me, but even Westerner people, and I've seen them in Hyde Park and elsewhere, they have big banners. Democracy is hypocrisy. So people are not happy with your system. People are not happy, not only in our country, not only in the Middle East, but even in your own country. In your own country, people are not happy. You know, there's a great deal of resistance against committing suicide. Despite that, those who commit suicide in your countries are ever worse than our countries. Why is this? People are not happy. People are going to drugs, alcohol, because they're not happy. Life is not happy. You know what makes you happy? As Allah. By His name. People should slaughter animals by the name of Allah, which is more relaxing to the animal itself, and that have been proven. Also, the name of Allah is the source of peace for those who are disturbed, who are being disturbed at night. You know, a lot of paranormal activities, unexplained issues, which became very controversial and crucial nowadays. It is very important. People cannot sleep. People can see horrible things at night, and they just wait for the sun to rise. Even these things happen at the daytime as well. So people are not happy. What makes the people happy? الذين آمنوا وتطمئن قلوبهم بذكر الله ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب. Those who have believed and their hearts find reassurance by the remembrance of Allah, verily, undoubtedly, by the name of Allah, by the remembrance of Allah, hearts find reassurance. I swear by Allah, that happened with me. I saw by my eyes. Moving doors, moving handles in front of me. I've seen that. Light turned off while I turn it on, then it turns off, then I leave the bed and turn it. A lot of things, curtains falling down suddenly, things that I have seen, and I've never seen anything like that after I change my way, and I feel peace. At the middle of the night, I stand up and I perform prayer, and I really feel happy. I really feel happy by speaking to Allah. What an honor is this! And the doors of Allah cannot be closed. They're open 24 hours a day. At any time you want to approach God, God is ready for you. He can hear you. He can see you. Just return to Him. Just repent to Him, and you'll be happy. Happy is there. So you don't need to have heroin, hash, drugs, alcohol to tranquil yourself temporarily. No. This is not temporary tranquilizer. No. It is eternal. As long as you are with Allah, surrendering to Him, repenting to Him, raising the hands up to Him. Look at what Allah quoted Mary saying when she saw an angel. And at the very first time, you may not be distinguishing between an angel and a ghost and a demon, devil. So the moment she saw something, she said, I seek refuge with Allah against you if you fear God. So if you fear God, be careful. I'm seeking refuge with Allah against you. So be careful. You're putting yourself in trouble. So we know the story. Then Jibreel said to her, no, I'm an angel who have been sent by the Lord Almighty, etc. So this is your support. They want to tell that Islam is terrorism. We know very well that they have set up many conspiracies to demonize Islam, to distort Islam. Okay, they want to tell you that Islam is not a religion of peace. In a matter of fact, people have no peace because they could not stop these disturbances at night, and at the same time they're not happy with their life. So you did not succeed in giving people their need, spiritually, physically, nothing. That's why they prefer to die. So we do not need your secularism, which did not really help the people. People are suffering. They have economical problems. Even your own countries have economical problems because of the interest. Oh, sorry, I don't call it interest. It's usury, riba, as we call it in Arabic. This is a demonic system that caused people not to be in the middle rate. No, in the lowest. Some people are in the highest, which are minority in the world. But the majority of the world are really not in the middle. Mostly are in the lowest because of this economical false system. We don't need that. So please, next time, don't speak on behalf of Saudi Arabia. Speak on behalf of your own country, not on behalf of Saudi Arabia. And may Allah prevent Saudi Arabia from needing such system which caused misery to the whole world. Thank you.